This week, everyone is required to work on a weekly drawing or sketch prompt, so make sure you pick yours. I picked a jack-o'-lantern to stay festive since Halloween is this week. Follow along with me if you need any help drawing realistically. I will be shading and coloring later, but the first thing I did was I found a pumpkin reference photo to look at, and I just, again, worked really lightly and roughed out some basic shapes that I saw. So you know how pumpkins are a little like bumpy? I made sure to get all of the sections in really lightly, and then I went in with a heavier pressure to start adding some of the shading. So although I'm using my iPad, and I use it to make sure the lighting isn't weird and you can see each stroke really clearly. Even though I am using a digital tool, you can do all of this with paper and pencil. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I am just working in small sections really lightly. When I picked my light source, which is a light from above and the front, I found all the dark shadows and shaded it. And before I shaded the front, I actually drew out the painting design I wanted to do. I was initially going to draw it so it looked carved out, but that was a little challenging, so I opted for a different way. At this point, I'm still adding all of my shadows. Again, pumpkins are super lumpy, so each little curve has its own shadow, but I was struggling with making the back section look darker than the front section. So you're going to see me smooth out my shading, try to attempt to make that part darker, and then I'm actually going to add a cast shadow later and also a really simple wash of color. So when I'm coloring digitally, I treat it just as if I was working with watercolor, so really flat washes of color. You can do this with color pencil as well, just mixing some darker and lighter shades of one color, and it's really simple. But this, you don't need to color, it's totally optional.